Are you tired of listening to us talk?
Well, yes.
I don't blame you. So occasionally, we're going to ask you some questions.
Hey, I'm Jon Nelson. I'm the team captain for Team Valiant Effort and the Valiant. I'm a mechanical engineer and I live in Walnut Creek, California. So why do I race lemons? Because it's fun. I love racing. It's a great way to get out and get a lot of wheel-to-wheel race time that fits my budget. Although more I do it for the opportunity to build and create something with my friends that we then get to go out and hang out for the weekend and have fun with. We're definitely not real racers and are there to have fun first and foremost, which is why we really love the Lemons community and the other idiots like us out there. So our idiots are Jim, a good friend who built the car with me. He's an engineer as well. Chris, a close friend since the dorms in college. He's also an engineer and actually a rocket scientist. Mark, a mechanic and fabricator and a friend who can build or fix anything. He also smokes the tri-tips for the Saturday night parties. Steve, another engineer and friend. He joined the team last year and is already fully hooked on the Lemons crack. Kale is my 6th grader, is our crew chief, and is already counting down the days until he can drive. And then finally my wife Shelly, who's a veterinarian and not only a good driver, but she actually tolerates the car living at our house and dragging down property values. So all the engineers on our team sort of explained our very nerdy 42 theme that most people don't get, but we do always have our tells. Our car is a 1963 Plymouth Valiant with a slant 6 motor and a push-button activated automatic transmission. It's the big block slant 6, the 225 cubic inch, not the 170. The drivetrain is pretty stock, although we have had cop car brakes from the 70s Mopars, stiffened the springs a bit and opened up the exhaust a little. No one who hasn't driven it will believe it, but the car handles and brakes way better than you would think for an early 60s Chrysler product. The slush box has really given us trouble, either by overheating or catastrophically failing in multiple races. So our next big upgrade is to stick swap the car. We just picked up a rusted out parts Valiant that has all the parts we need, so that will be happening soon when we get the 2 cars together. Note to self, tell my wife I bought a parts car before this video comes out, and it shows up. So see what Lemons did to me? I bought a parts car. That's something I swore I would never do in my life. We've actually finished a few races going to flag without problems. Got a Judge's Choice Award and a Heroic Fix Award. But the biggest win would have to be winning the IOE at Sonoma last December. That was our goal all along, and to have it happen at our home track was awesome. We had, I think, the 103rd worst fast lap out of 126 cars, but managed to finish 60th, so that was pretty cool. I really like the judges calling out the 66 people who somehow did worse than the Slant 6 at the award ceremony, so that was fun too. Our biggest fail was our heroic fix. At Thunderhill last year, we grenaded a rear wheel bearing on the stock rear axle on Saturday midday. The wheel bearing on that car also holds the axle in, so our wheel came out and got into the fender, but fortunately it all stayed together to get off track. Of course, we didn't have a spare, and no normal auto parts store stocks a rear wheel bearing for a 1963 Plymouth, because why would they? We were kind of dejected. We were about to drag the car on the trailer and give up. But on a whim, I called Summit, and they happened to have one in Reno, which is in Nevada. We tore the axle out and jumped in the car, and Chris and I made the 3.5-hour drive to Reno to get the bearing. Well, Jim drove the axle back to his house in Benicia to press off the old bearing. We then made the 3.5-hour drive to Benicia to Jim's house to split and press off the old bearing and then press on the new one, and then made the 2-hour drive back to Thunderhill. Got there about 2 in the morning and dropped off the axle. And then Mark and Steve had cleaned up the car. They got up early, installed all the new parts, and put it back together, waking up a sleeping judge next to us, so oops. But we took the green Sunday morning and drove all day without any issues. So biggest fail for sure, but kind of a win in the end. If I had infinite resources, time, money, what would I build for Lemons? My dream build? You know, I really like this car, and I want to make it actually quick. So my dream build would be to have the cheatiest Slant 6 in Lemons. Escape Velocity Racing has set that bar pretty high with their Turbo Slant 6, but challenge accepted. Oh, and the 4-speed swap we're doing soon. That's part of my dream because I hate that automatic. So that's Team Valiant Effort and the Valiant. Can't wait to see you on track.
Every second you don't subscribe or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?